almost straight onto race pace. And for the first time then, this morning, we get a glimpse of the world champion, Marc Marquez. Any ideas of what bike he's gone out there on, Dylan?
If it's not a black one, then it's the one from the race.
Yeah, you tend to find in these test sessions a lot of times that when there is new prototype machinery around, the riders, they will always go out on their current machine. It's what they're familiar with, it's what they know like the back of their hand, so then they can go out, build up their rhythm on the bike that they've raced all year, and then they can then make the direct analysis with some new equipment like the 28 prototype, which Honda will be very, very eager to get this young man's comments on.
And someone who's just heading out now as well. The test rider, as you rightfully said, substituting for Tom Luthi. Now, it was very interesting because I was speaking with the team, and yes, whilst he's out there to obviously help get data, you know, for the bike, for Honda in general, it not being a new bike, there's not so much more he can add from that point of view. But they said because you also have Gilles Bigot, you have he's a new crew chief with Honda, you have slightly new people in the technical team, so they said it's actually so important to do this test, not just for the riders but for the team itself, to learn the bike, to understand exactly what's happening for when Tom jumps on top of that. And that really is, I think, one of the aspects. I know I certainly you know, forget it sometimes. I think it's all about the riders, but of course it's teams having to learn their way into the new season too.
So Marc Marquez shouldn't take him long to set a benchmark time, as he has a play out on the
to disaster. I don't think it would have had any impact on the World Championship. It certainly would have made it interesting for Andrea Dovizioso in those last few laps, but he's a genius. That guy that we're looking at now, there's only one word for it, he's a genius. He does things on a motorcycle that you have never seen anybody else do. You probably will never ever see anybody else do as well. So how many guys can win a World Championship having been on the floor this year 27 times? He's so good, isn't he, at finding the limit on Friday, finding the limit on Saturday, and then just backing it just below the limit on Sunday. Although actually he said that he after the race, rolled out of it afterwards, did he? I think his next lap, or the next lap after the one he had, was a 1:31.7, which is one of the fastest laps he had in the whole race. And he knew that Dovizioso crashed.
Yeah, he is astonishing. I think when you look back, in terms of riders with natural talent, a lot of people will talk about Freddie Spencer, a lot of people will talk about Casey Stoner, but we are witnessing something rather extraordinary in what we see here with Marc Marquez. There, of course, there's so much talk about when they jump onto the new machinery, Repsol Honda. I think it's fair to say that they have a pretty good lap time to look out for and monitor themselves on.
Well, Marc Marquez, we said he was going to get into the 131s. He got down to a 1:31.437 on his fourth. Oh, dearie me, Mark. Massive moment at turn number 10. He's out there pushing from the get-go. His 1:31.437 was actually faster than anybody else managed in Sunday's Valencia Grand Prix. Johan Zarco had the fastest lap of the race, a 1:31.576. But
I mean, this is
the replay. Look at this, Steve. Oh, dearie me. Again, he leaves another massive black line, a huge front tyre slide, and yet again he gets away with it.
This is incredible as he changes direction here. Watch the front tyre.
That is completely gone.
Look at
that. He's ploughing a ditch there.
Smoke is pouring off it.
He is ploughing a ditch through turn number 10. They need to go and resurface turns 1 and 10 if Marc Marquez carries on digging grooves in the circuit.
He's superhuman.
Oh, dearie me. Well, we were just talking, weren't we, about how people, Cal Crutchlow and Danny Pedrosa said there's only one person in the world that can do that, and it's the man we've just looked at. And
about that, you know, not only Johan wants a bike to win and have a full development behind him, but I think at some stage you need some reward of your hard work, your investment for so many years in season, and then if we can help him to reach his dream, his ultimate dream, we will have done our mission.
However, I'm sure we'll talk more about Johan in a moment, but of course it would be quite important at the moment to try and get a message over to those watching at home, the latest updates on Jonas.
It's a good question, and you asked me at the right moment, because an hour ago I was sitting down with his manager.